The Supreme Court unanimously maintained nationwide access to a commonly used abortion pill.
It was the court's first abortion ruling since they overturned Roe v. Wade 2 years ago. The abortion drug mifepristone, used in nearly 2/3 of all U.S. abortions last year, will stay available to patients up to 10 weeks pregnant without having an in-person doctor visit. The 9 justices, again, were unanimous, finding the abortion opponents who brought the case lacked the legal standing to sue the FDA. CBS correspondent Skylar Henry joins us live from the Supreme Court now.
Yeah, Skylar, today's ruling actually has ties to a Texas district court ruling back in April. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, this is really a rebuke to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals over in Amarillo, guys, where that district judge, a conservative judge and also an anti-abortion judge, really oversees most of those cases. Remember, this is a case that was brought forth then and then moved over to the Fifth Circuit in New Orleans, and also a conservative court, before the Supreme Court stepped in. Now, this ruling, while unanimous, had very little to do with the substance of the actual case itself, and more so to do with the procedural rulings, if you will, saying that the plaintiffs in this case didn't have the legal grounds to move forward with this case in the first place. It's why we've seen many anti-abortion advocates from various states, not only Texas, say that they will try to find different ways to bring this back in front of the court. Meanwhile, we also know that lawmakers here on Capitol Hill, both Democrats and the president, have also said that this is a good thing. The fact that mifepristone is actually available, and that's through mail order or through doctor's visits up to those 10 weeks, to try to help those women who are seeking abortions. But as I pointed out, we know that several members of the GOP and several anti-abortion advocates say that they will continue to try to have this fight move forward, especially a hot button topic, if you will, reproductive rights, as we look ahead to the November election.
Well, Skylar, are these pills still accessible in Texas given the ban here? And if so, how is that possible?
Yeah. Well, what I know is that because it's still illegal to perform abortions in Texas, including by dispensing or mailing mifepristone, or for that matter mifepristol, we know that it is actually still illegal there. And actually, we should point out that several Republican-controlled legislatures, Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas, most recently, are also among that list that actually determined that the drug is actually a dangerously controlled substance. And so I think we will see several state legislatures throughout the country. 14 states right now have some sort of ban altogether or steps altogether to try to prevent mifepristone from being accessed. I think that is more or so of what we will see continuing in the weeks and months ahead, especially on the political front. On the legal front, as I pointed out, we will continue to see more challenges in the court. We also know that just today there was a block, if you will, of an IVF codification measure that Democrats were backing here that didn't have enough votes because Republicans didn't get on board. We know that that measure has been something that has tried to be put out here. And so there are a lot of measures that Democrats are trying to put forth, if you will, to try to put Republicans on the record in terms of where they stand on reproductive rights. I pointed out what this would ultimately mean in November, but I think we'll continue to see more of that tug of war, if you will, in the weeks and months ahead.
Now, Skylar, isn't there another case that the High Court is considering that is related to abortions? What does that focus on, and when are they going to weigh in on that?
Yeah, well, ironically, this could very well have some impact on Texas, and that is because this has to deal with the federal law that talks about stepping in on an emergency medical front at hospitals, and whether that overpowers state abortion bans in the first place. This is a case out of Idaho that we will be paying attention to. Now, if the Supreme Court rules that is actually the case, then I think we could potentially see the trickle down and the ripple effects of something like that potentially impact people there in Texas. And so I think that is something else that we are paying attention to. That ruling could very well come out tomorrow, as we are expecting another round of decisions, or perhaps sometime later this week or later next week.
Skylar Henry, thank you so much for that live report. We have an entire recap of today's ruling on our website, khou.com.